in the hip crease with my hand down. I'm switching. So it's the opposite. I have my other hand back. My other hand, so I have like a tight waist. My other hand grabs the instep. There should be a little curve under the guy's foot. And then now what I need is I need my knee to puncture. So if I'm trying to get my knee to puncture, remember we talked about this before, Chris has his elbow up and he's trying to hide. There's always a spot behind that elbow. So it's up in this hip crease is where we're gonna find our penetration. So if I need to get my knee in and I feel an arm and a leg overlapping, I go up to the hip crease and I drive my weight in until I slip in. So my arm's around the waist, my left arm, I'm looking at his hips. If my left arm's in, then my left knee's gonna be in. I'm gonna sit Indian style and pull the hips to my chest. Some people will hold instep, some people will S-grip their hands inside the thigh. I like to go tight waist and grab the foot. But what I'm doing is I'm stepping my foot up and I'm prying the guy off the mat again like we did last time so he doesn't have the mat to hide. But this time I'm gonna go directly to truck. So I pull the guy. This leg is gonna be my utility leg, messing with his leg, keeping his leg exposed. My other leg's the one that's gonna own him. It goes up, it gets behind the knee, and then now I have Chris's hips. If Chris tries to drop his back to the mat now, this is gonna be almost impossible. I have the ability to send Chris all the way to back mount against his will, and it's almost impossible to stop. You have this special little tool here called a twister hook, where my foot will hook the calf. If you see when you're very perpendicular, sometimes it's hard to find. When you're very perpendicular, you'll start with a reverse lockdown. But as we start to go, I don't know if you can see this pass off. My foot's got my own calf, it takes his. This thing is so strong. For sending, you can send someone all the way through to an armbar. So you can go like more than like 180 with the send. But just take some position. Don't worry about the armbar. But that thing's strongish. We're gonna get a hold of one of the guy's hips when we send him with the twister hook. So remember what we do when we get a hold of the left hip? What's the other piece that's gonna seal him up? It's like the top corner, his right shoulder. So if I have a playing card and there's a really heavy wind and I have to stabilize that playing card and make sure the wind doesn't flop the card at all, and I have 2 grips I can purchase, well, if I grab the bottom 2 corners, the top's gonna be flapping. If I grab the top 2 corners, the bottom's gonna be flapping. The only way I can really make sure that thing doesn't move is diagonal corners. So it's the same here. I get my knee to puncture, my arm punctures, my knee punctures. I grab, I'm gonna pull these hips to my belly. I'm gonna use this leg, just whatever it needs to do to keep his leg stuck so I can get over it. I have Chris's left hip, so when I send him, the first thing I need is his right shoulder. From here, right shoulder with a twister hook is gonna be almost impossible for him to stop me from chopping my way in. I get my second hook in, if you try to move out of that thing, should be really frozen. And then I'm gonna go right for the choke. And when they're all twisted up, they're really vulnerable to the strangle when they're first in that thing. Let me borrow you, Paul. You can have Chris look at it. So,